We met on a blind date in October of 1955. I see Jackie and it kind of embarrasses her because I tell her I'm going to marry her on my first date, and she kind of laughs at me, this country bumpkin's come up here and gonna steal me away from this big city, you know.
What are you talking about? You know, I am young. And he wasn't very old, so, but it's like I say, God always has a plan, and that was a good one. And when we got married, he was in the service, and we went to Carrizosa, New Mexico. Oh, that was an experience.
And I come home early one day on a water truck. I get your water truck coming into town to get water because we're out in the middle of the desert. And so I come in and she's sitting on the couch and she's just crying. And I said, what in the world is wrong? And she said, I have cleaned this house 5 times today and the wind just keeps blowing the sand all over.
And it was hot. And I thought, I've moved away and here this is, you know.
So I sold my house, sold my car, and come up to Central State, and I was going to play basketball because Coach Winters had said. So we moved to Centralville, and it was old Army barracks.
Living on campus was fun because we were all in the same boat, basically. Everybody in the whole place were going to school and having hard times, and nobody had any money. I mean, that is for sure. They would buy one book, and most of them was going to be coaches, and they'd share.
When I enrolled at Central State, when we came up here in 1961, and the day I started class, my second son was born. Scott. The day that I graduated from Central State, or was supposed to graduate in the spring, May the 28th, my third son was born, Roger. So I didn't get to graduate because we were at the hospital. So Jackie says, we've spent this much time, you're going to graduate. So I had to come back in the summer and go through the line to get my diploma. When we were going to school, it was more of a teacher's college. They wanted you to succeed. They wanted you to do things that would make you, and they taught you things that would make you a better person. And a lot of the things that they taught me, I carried on into my teaching field and evidently it worked because they made a teacher and a coach out of me, and I've got 45 young men that are now teaching and coaching. So after I graduated from Central State, I took a job at Putnam City, head cross country coach, assistant basketball, and assistant baseball. And I got a whopping $600 for coaching all 3 sports. My total salary was $4,600, and I thought, boy, that was, because I'd turned down a job back at my old hometown in Tishomingo as a head coach in basketball because I wasn't going to make but $3,600. I went from Putnam City to Piedmont, from Piedmont to Davis. From Davis, started a program at Millwood High School. Went from Millwood High School to Clinton. From Clinton, went to Owasso. At Owasso, then I went to Carl Albert, Midwest City. When I retired from Oklahoma, I had 29 years. I retired from Oklahoma and I went to Texas. Last year was the first year that I hadn't coached. And so that was since 1960.
We've moved 25 times. We have 4 children. We have 3 sons, Greg, Scott, and Roger. And then we were blessed to have our little girl.
Jackie was in the hospital having Misty. I've got all 3 of them at the gym. I mean, I got one of them on my hip, one of them sleeping in the office, and the other one sitting in a chair while I'm coaching,
Our sons knew from, I would say, an early age that they wanted to coach. That's just what they wanted to do. Well, they sat on the bench with them, from the time they were little, and sat right there. Roger kept stats for him. He was, what, 6th grade?
Yeah. Well, all 3 of my sons came to Central State on scholarships, 2 on track and 1 in basketball. And after they graduated, they all went into teaching and coaching. To be honored as the UCO Family of the Year, and you think, well, that, Lord's sakes, that's a big honor. Someone does appreciate what we've done. Someone does think that we've done a good job of raising our family, in education. When you look back and you see all those people and the influence they had, and you say, well, maybe I honored them a little bit too. Maybe I honored them. They can all say they had a part in that. It don't make any difference how many honors you've won. It doesn't make how much money you've got or how much you make. You're not going to take any of that with you. The only thing you're going to take is your memories. You're going to take your memories with you, because no one else can have those but you. And the memories that we have of Central State are all positive.